Jerusalem. Sunday marks the 100th day that Israel and Hamas have been at war. The war has been longest, deadliest war between Israel and the Palestinians since Israel's founding. In 1948, fighting shows no signs of ending. Israel declared war in response to Hamas' unprecedented cross-border attack on October 7. In this attack, the Islamist militant group killed approximately 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and took 250 people hostage. The attack caused unprecedented destruction in Gaza. But more than 3 months later, Hamas remains largely intact and the hostages remain in captivity. The Israeli army says the war will continue through 2024. Here are 5 takeaways from first 100 days of the conflict that has devastated region. Israel will never be the same. The October 7 attack caught Israel by surprise and shook the country's confidence in its leaders. File a photograph of 21-year-old Keshet Kasseroti, who was killed in attack by Hamas militants at Nova Music Festival, Southern Israel. October 7 is displayed at a memorial held on the beach memory of victims, Tel Aviv, Israel. Saturday, November. While the public stands behind the military's war effort, they continue to experience deep trauma. Every day the country seems to relive October 7, when families ate in their homes, partygoers were shot at a music festival, and children and elderly people kidnapped on motorcycles. Posters of hostages in Hamas captivity appear in the streets, and people wear t-shirts urging leaders to bring them home. Israeli news channels devote their broadcasts to the war 24 hours a day. Since October 7, non-stop stories, tragedy, heroism, stories about hostages and their families, tearful funerals of soldiers killed in action. Reports from Gaza, reporters smiling alongside soldiers, have been published. There is little discussion or sympathy about the rapidly rising death toll and deteriorating humanitarian situation in Gaza. Post-war plans for Gaza are rarely mentioned. While the punished Israeli security officers apologized and signaled that they would resign after the war, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu took a firm stance. File mourners embrace at the funeral of Seaman and Ayelet Godard in Kibbutz Palmakim, Israel. Sunday, October 29, 2023. Despite the sharp decline in his public approval ratings, Netanyahu has resisted calls to apologize, resign or investigate his government's failings. Netanyahu, who has ruled country for almost all of the last 15 years, says there will be time for investigations after war. Historian Tom Segev said the war would shake the country for years, perhaps for generations to come. He said failures October 7 and the failure to bring hostages home had fueled a widespread sense of betrayal and distrust. Government. A lot of people have a feeling that something is very, very deeply wrong here. Gaza will never be the same. Conditions in Gaza before October 7 were already difficult. Following the suffocating blockade imposed by Israel and Egypt,